All right, y'all. It is technically Thursday, February the 20th. I know I'm overdue. I can't put it all into words. That dude showed up at CPAC with a golden chainsaw. At least it looked golden. It might not have been, but it looked golden to me. Just, talking about this is the chainsaw of democracy. Tell me he wasn't doing his little special K before he went out there. It's not funny. It's not funny because that's the dude running the country. But like, if you didn't see it, no, don't look for it. You don't need to see it. It looks like he's trying to recreate the scene from that movie. Just, I don't know if it was actually on, but just, oh my gosh, it's like giving a bunch of 6-year-olds the power to rule the country. Just go ahead, just see what you want to do. I'm going to take a chainsaw to the convention. The chainsaw democracy. Okay, we're going to talk about First Boyfriend over here because there's like a lot of things that I want to say, and I don't like saying them over on the place because, you know, they're buddies. And I know it's buddies here too and buddies everywhere, but, you know, it seems extra buddy over there. So first of all, let's talk about how this dude was caught, okay, cooking the books and making up numbers when he's reporting his fraud, for which he's just showing like spreadsheet snippets and shit where it's like 2 + 2 = 800 million. And he's like, proof. And all the people are like, proof. It's not funny. Like I said on the talk, I was like, if I turned that in at any point in my corporate career, I would have been fired on the spot if that was my report for why. But then it comes out that that's not even true, that he had misread something. So he kept telling everyone, oh, there are people 200 years old getting payments. There's fraud. Wasn't true. He misread like a chart he misread it and ran off and started telling everyone that he found all this fight and it doesn't even exist. Doesn't exist. So no, he hasn't found any fraud. What he's done is identified shit he doesn't like and cut it out. And even there, he's inflating numbers. He's taking shit that was worth, what was it, like 8 million and making it 80 million. So it looks like he can inflate the number of what he's saving by cutting things and firing people. It's not a savings. It's not finding fraud to fire American citizens that are working, like, and while cutting off their VA, like disability, cutting that off, firing people, and then telling the folks who are too dumb to understand what's happening that this is good. This is an improvement. They're draining the swamp. They're getting rid of lazy government employees. We don't need them. We can just have algorithms, and then you guys can just, you know, grow potatoes for us. And the fucking mayo eaters, the two teethers are like, yeah, sounds good. You said a check, right? A check? I'll grow potatoes for a one-time check. Farmer losing their fun. None of that shit matters. None of that shit matters. But so on top of lying and cheating and stealing and all, there's this thing now with the distancing, right? And this is very interesting to me. I don't know what will come of this. And I don't want to get too hung up on it. There are a lot of people who want a piece of this guy. But it's very interesting that the DOJ went out of their way to say, no, this guy has nothing to do with this agency that we have been saying for the last God knows how long, that it's absolutely 100% his. And he's taken full credit for it. Ooh, that's what I was going to say. Did you see that those kids are racking up an additional like $7 million a week? We're shelling out like 20 million plus for these kids that are just firing people with no real oversight. Like, what are you spending $1 million a day in expenses? What are they? $1 million a day in expenses, you guys. $1 million per day. Whether it's going to them or being siphoned somewhere else and into, you know, First Boyfriend's pocket is not the point. That's not fraud, though. That's not fraud. Okay, the fraud are the Social Security checks going to people who earned it. That needs to be dissolved and sent to people who didn't earn it because they deserve it now. Oh my God, I can't, like, my head hurts. My head hurts. But yeah, okay. To this what is it? Department of Doo-Doo thing and the distancing. So someone forgot to tell the stench as well as the people in Congress, because the stench went out and explicitly said the opposite of what the DOJ said and said, oh, we created it and it was his thing and I put him in charge of it and I thank him for doing it. And I'm like, did he miss the memo or did he just do that on purpose? You know, like when he had when he made the announcement at his speech, you know, the announcement that they scrubbed from the internet and you get in trouble if you share it, the thing that he said multiple times. Yeah, it was almost like, did he just throw him under the bus a little bit? Okay, so I was like, okay, that could have been a slip, but the Congress people are doing it too. They're telling their constituents and telling people, oh yeah, no, that's his. That's his doo-doo department. That's his. Yeah, his thing. He's the head of it. He's the leader, founder. He operates it, in charge of it. We take orders from him. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what may or may not come of it, but interesting. It's going to be a battle of loyalties soon between first boyfriend's money and stench loyalists. Because, look, they put that cash guy in there. He's a very, very stench loyalist and is ready to weaponize in favor of the agenda and in favor of their people. And Congress doesn't give a fuck. Like, at this point, the one of the shirts I threw in the pop-up shop, the Rise, Resist, Rebuild, because they all got to go. They all got to go. They are all just, I don't know if they're shocked and just too stunned to realize it's happening, or if they know that they've just been farming a little worker colony as well, and they're just prepping their escape hatches while we boil. I don't know, but honestly, I don't care. I'm not waiting for them. So I don't know how this is going to work when stench administration, if they do, tries to throw first boyfriend under the bus, and first boyfriend just swoops in with all his money, and it's like, okay, bet. I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy that. I'm buying him. Hey, how much money do you want to throw this case away? I mean, this is already what's happening, and they laid the framework. Dude already made one of his executive orders where bribery is fine. And don't even get me started on fucking Hakeem Jeffries and his, oh yeah, well, maybe we should just let criminals rule things. There's still good things they can do. We can let that crooked mayor stay. He could still help people somehow. We got to work with them now. Like, dude, if you don't, man, you better leave this fucking country. You better get so far out of here. Did you really think that y'all were just going to, like, lead us to the slaughter, get us not to kick up dust? Because that's really what they did, was they kept us from kicking up dust while it was happening. Then once it was too late, they kind of slowly went, oh no, what can we do? And now they're back into their full usual pattern of, guess you're just going to have to let us in next time, and we'll almost pretend to try harder. Team Blue has had full power before, and they did not manage to do half of the shit that these folks have pushed through in no time. In my bio, I have a link tree. There is an active link to the Project 2025 tracker. I am sharing that because it is a great breakdown, and I encourage you to share it with everyone who thinks that it's not a thing, because it shows you step by step, and they're checking these things off like a checklist. It's not coincidence. It's not, oh, that's weird. That's a checklist. That's a to-do list. It's all happening, and they're going through it quickly. So, like I keep saying, you got to kind of get on that, get that in there, and be like, okay, we have to do something, and we have to do it now. Or, yeah, you can just be like, all right, I guess we're cooking. And then you have the people that are fine with writing it out because they don't think it's going to get that bad. They see it, but they're still like, no, it's not going to actually get that bad. I know they're saying it, but it's not actually them. And those are the ones that are really ruining it for everyone else. And the ones that are going to be like, okay, we're staying till the last minute, and then we're getting the fuck out of here because we're trying to tell you. But when we get nervous, when people whose families have been through this kind of trauma, when people who came here from other countries who went through that are saying, I'm leaving because I know where this goes, when those people leave, you might want to pay attention. If someone who is actually, because y'all don't want to listen to us, you're like, you weren't actually, okay, so when a white immigrant says, yeah, I recognize this and I'm leaving, is that good enough or no? Right? I don't, what at what point is it enough?